like to pay our respects to our elders of past and present, especially in these lands, because I suppose the Darkinjung country, after 5 weeks or 6 weeks when the first fleet landed in Sydney, this was the place of, I suppose, the first contact. Hey, Yama Yama, which means welcome to Darkinjung country, from the Diribin, which is the traditional name of the Hawkesbury River, to the Awabba, which is the traditional name of Lake Macquarie, from the sacred mountain of Mount Yango to the sea. This is the boundary of what we call Darkinjung. What was left here in country is the legacy of the people through the rock carvings, the rock paintings, and also a lot in regards to the history of how we live with the environment through our plants, through our medicines. And that's something that we're going to talk about today here at Tumbi Wetlands. This plant is called a geebung. It's a broadleaf geebung. You do have like a thin leaf geebung also, and a pine leaf geebung. And you can see here where the small pods or fruits that are coming on now, it has a really spiky long bit here when the fruit is young, and it gradually, naturally, when the fruit grows, that becomes very small, and you can identify it by, you know, that spike coming out of the top of the fruit. This one here is a devil's twine or vine, and you can see these are the fruits which actually come off this plant, and they go a little bit more yellowy in colour when they're ready to eat, but they're edible straight from the actual vine. And so not only did you know, Aboriginal people have lots of different foods, but they had a whole variety of different foods too. A variety of different trees we used to make our tools and weapons. This tree here, which is the black wattle, you can see that it's in flower, and the black wattle, it does have a resin too that seeps out of it, which is edible, and it's a nice sweet resin too that comes out of it. The timber of the black wattle was widely used by our people here on the Darkinjung, and they made lots of, you know, different tools like the boomerangs from the roots of the black wattle. This is the Melaleuca tree. As you can see, this is a Melaleuca forest here within the wetland. Aboriginal women would use these to peel off and get really big pieces of this bark and shape them into nice little coolamans so they can carry their berries and that too while they're in here collecting. Paper bark too was used to basically line like cave floors and everything too for sit on, because it was soft. It's also used as a band-aid for wounds. It's called an angophora, and Aboriginal people had a use for this tree, especially the women too. The women would, you can see these bulbs that stick out from the tree, and the women would cut around the edge of these sort of bulbs, and then they would let the air would naturally get in underneath the bark, and then it would just pop off the tree, and they'd have these beautiful natural bowls, and that would carry water or use as a coolaman or a dish.